What's going on with it, man? Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the masterpiece, mouthpiece, Sinful to P. Coming at you one more again, man. Speaking fluently and eloquently in the spectacular vernacular called realism. One more again. And I know it's been a little while since I did a video. That's because I've been busy. You know what I'm saying? I've been endeavoring to take it to another level. I've been endeavoring to be more official and be beneficial to my people, such as my family, my friends, and just, when I say my people, that don't necessarily mean black people either. You know what I mean? My people, from the ghetto, in urban areas. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knows that when I eat, everybody eat. You know what I'm saying? Because I share. I always had one of those hearts. You know what I mean? God is always blessed. That's why, certain people be like, man, I heard what's the name net worth is 500 mil. I heard that nigga net worth is 800 mil. But let me tell you something. If you're not being a blessing to your people, if you're not sitting up there being a blessing to the schools that you come from, you understand me, the hood that you came from, you know what I'm saying, your family, your friends, you ain't worth shit. Simplicity. But before I get started, man, you know what I mean? My Facebook information is SIN spacebar FUL spacebar GILMORE. That is SIN spacebar FUL GILMORE. And if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just simply SIN 2 underscores FUL. That is SIN 2 underscores FUL. By a lot of you guys, man, being friends with me, on Facebook, and you know what I mean, I see a lot of y'all sometimes commenting on the pages of women, you know what I'm saying, and I also see you, you know what I mean, on Instagram, when you see somebody liking on something or commenting on somebody's page, and I was able to view a lot of the comments of people that come from YouTube and, just Facebook friends, period, and even outside in the streets. A lot of my partners, I can kind of like see where they going wrong at in their approach to women, And like I've always taught you from the beginning, everything must be presentable before it's acceptable. So your presentation got to be right, man. You know what I'm saying? The reason why a lot of you are not being chose, or, you're not getting that woman that you want, because your approach is all wrong. Your appearance is the interference. You know what I mean? First of all, number one, you got to keep yourself up, as you already know, and the title of this message is Give Her a Reason. And a lot of times when you guys come up to a woman, you already starting off wrong. Your appearance is all fucked up, you know what I mean? You're looking the fool. Your breath is contrary to what people want to smell. You smell like you want to be alone, you know what I'm saying? And you just, you look like you're calling, you know what I mean, is to look a damn fool, and you look like you're doing it well. So, I mean, if you initiate a conversation with any woman that has any type of class, intellect, goals, objectives in life to fulfill, a mandate from heaven, any of that, you know what I mean, she's not even going to bless you with her time. Because you're starting off wrong. Even for you guys that profess to be pimps. No, I'm not a pimp, as you already know. I'm your favorite square. I'm just a square-ass nigga, man, with an opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to just give you some game, man, that you can gain off of. Attraction comes before subtraction. So, before you can endeavor to subtract from a broad, as in some money, you need to look like money first. So, attraction comes before subtraction, man. I got to attract the woman before I endeavor to subtract from her. You know what I'm saying? So I never get a second opportunity to repeat a first impression. So it's imperative that I be the best representative of myself when I initiate a conversation, and my presentation got to be the definition of the shit when I'm talking about anything and everything with this particular woman, because everything got to be presentable before it's acceptable to the woman. Now, when you talking to Shambisha or Makita and all of them little dots, running around who hair be shorter than their future. You could just say anything and everything, you know what I'm saying, to them little bras. And them little bus stop bitches will give you their number. Them little bus stop bitches will suck your dick, you know what I'm saying, till you got to sit up there and file for sperm bankruptcy. And they'll get into a continuity of doing it without you giving them a reason to do it. But when you're dealing with a motherfucking woman, you got to have a logical reason on why she should be with you. All right? So if your breath is smelling like the 13th chapter of Revelation, if it's smelling like, plagues and diseases and demonic spirits and shit like that, why should the woman bless you with her time? A lot of you feel that just because you are who you are, a woman should just be with you just because. And I just want to let you know, you got the game fucked up. You really got the game fucked up, my nigga. You know what I mean? I got some partners that physically, they would be what a woman would want to look at. Light skin, some brown, with the wavy hair, chocolate or whatever. They swole, they keep themselves up. But by them not reading and by them not having any information, when they get into a conversation, they looking like boo-boo the damn fool. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he might look like genuine, but he don't have a Harvard University mind when it comes to talking to the damn woman, and he gonna get lost every damn time. Woman gonna be like, well, damn, I wanted to fuck him at first, but now that I'm listening to him, I don't want to fuck with him. I don't want to say hello or anything. I need to talk to God and find out his email address or whatever, because he need to email this nigga a brain, because evidently I'm talking to him and he don't have one. So, we got to basically come together, man, on one accord, man. I wish I could sit all of you down, especially the youth, because when I do these videos, I'm really talking to the teenagers. I'm really talking to the ones in the early 20s. Those of you that are in college, those of you that are in high school, those of you that are even in grammar school. You know what I'm saying? I take out time so you can learn. You know what I mean? Because I know that a lot of you don't have fathers in the home. I know that some of you have uncles that's busy, mothers that's busy. So BET and MTV and VH1 and YouTube, that's what's raising you. And that's why we got a big population of men that were males that doesn't have the information on how to evolve as a man. You got to give her a reason to respect you. A lot of, and just to touch even on those who even attend church, a lot of you think this just because you profess to be a man of God or you profess to be a minister that the woman of God or just your woman or wife, period, is supposed to respect you without a life that you're living in front of her. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a hypocrite, if you're basically engaging in any type of hypocrisy, I'm here to let you know that that woman does not respect you. She actually despises you. So with that being said, as a matter of fact, just to give an example, because we're like, what? I've had the opportunities in times past in the days of my youth to attend many congregations and see different representations of denominations, and all of them were on one accord as far as this goes. I've seen some ministers, they were dynamic behind the pulpit. They gave some very profound messages. They tore down Babylon. They gave you some revelations. And with the dynamic ministry that they had or appeared to have, you would have thought that this person was perfect. And like I always say, if you think a person is perfect, it's because you don't know their ass. But at the same particular time, when you saw this minister or this pastor or this great motivational and inspirational speaker, you swore up and down, man, this guy is the embodiment of godliness. Man, who is his wife? And then when you see his wife, she's so disrespectful. She got an attitude. She ghetto. You know what I'm saying? She'll get into a continuity of using profanity to people who basically even profess to be saints. You know what I'm saying? She don't have a problem putting you in your place and sending you on your little merry little way. You know what I mean? And you've even sometimes see her getting disrespectful with her husband, or her pastor or whoever. You know why? Because she doesn't have respect, number one, for men or the man that she's with. And it's a reason for that. I'm here to tell you that there is a reason for that. You might not want to accept it because some of you listening right now, you're probably attending a congregation where the pastor just be preaching. He can sing his butt off. He can play that organ. You know, he make you feel good. He make you shout, and he make you speak in a tongue, and he have you prophesying and all of that stuff. But I'm telling you that there's a reason on why his wife, his woman, you know, the woman that he walked down aisles and made vows with, you know, I'm telling you that there's a reason on why his woman does not respect him. And the probability of him being in some hypocrisy is very high. Because, first of all, women will glorify whatever you exemplify to them. So I'm telling you that when you exemplify a behavior that's contrary to the words that proceed out of your mouth, the woman gonna despise you. And you giving her a license to despise your ass. You giving her a license to call you a hypocrite. You giving her a license to sit up there and just shake her head every time you talk, or every time you talk, it go in one ear and out of the other, because you don't mean nothing that you saying, and you don't live nothing that you talking about. So you say one thing behind the pulpit for the preacher. You say one thing in your household for just the average common man. You don't live what you talk about. You got to give her a reason. What reason have you given the woman to respect you? You say you a man, but when you really think back and you use the blueprint that God gave you called your mind, and you actually think and you say, have I been a man? And you know that. A lot of you are going to be listening to this particular message and you're going to feel a certain type of way because you know you've been in the wrong. A lot of you get into confrontations and arguments with your woman, and you emotionally react just like your woman. But you want her to respect you as a man. You want her to see you up here. But every time you get into an argument or any type of confrontation, you come right here, right on her level. So if you emotionally react just like a woman emotionally reacts, why should she respect you as a man? Some of you in different congregations, you have the opportunity to fellowship with your pastor or your minister. And, you know, it really didn't take the gift of discernment to realize that, you know, this guy is a hypocrite. You know, his behavior in the congregation is not equivalent to basically the character that he displays outside of the building, the church. And that's why his wife disrespects him. That's why his children disrespects him. That's why his wife neglects everything that he talks about. And that's why his children are rebellious, because in his hypocrisy, he gave them a license to disrespect him. And a lot of you have given your girlfriend, your woman, a lot of you pimps have given basically, you know what I mean, a license to your so-called hoe. You know what I mean? You giving her a license to neglect your instructions with your behavior. Because women will glorify what you exemplify to them. A woman will produce what you introduce to her. So I'm here to tell you that the reason why she has not sat up there and respected you as the man that you desire to be respected as is because you have not exemplified the behavior of a man to her. You've been a hypocrite. You know, some of you just might be dealing with, you know, some outlandish, rambunctious, all over the place type of woman. But, you know, a servant can only do what a king allows. A queen can only do what a king allows. You allowed that. And that's why the problem now has exacerbated. It's become bigger, you know, because you are not being a living solution. So, you know, I'm not going to talk you guys' heads off, you know, but I just wanted to set some things in order, man. You know what I mean? You got to give her a reason to respect you. You got to give her a reason to love you. You got to give her a reason. It's a song that say, these hoes are not loyal. You got to give them a reason to be loyal to you. Give them a reason. When you really begin to do inventory, when you really begin to reevaluate and be able to look at things, you know, not through your lenses, but through the lenses of truth. When you allow the spirit of truth and wisdom and common sense that's not common to deal with you while you begin to look at the certain events that's taking place in your life, you I'm talking to the man, you, the leader, the guy that's supposed to be the leader. It's your fault. It's your fault. I'm here to tell you the reason why your home is falling apart. The reason why that woman is being disrespectful to you. The reason why that woman is being rebellious. 9 out of 10, the probability of it being your fault is very high. I'm talking to the man. I'm talking to you. Because that's what God called you to be. From the very beginning, he called you to be a leader. See, the enemy is trying to deceive people into thinking that things that are abnormal is normal and things that are normal is abnormal. When you talk to women now and you say things like a woman is not equal with a man, or if a man is superior to the woman, or the man is the leader of a woman basically, she'd be looking at the examples that's in the urban community or just, at school or whatever, and she'd be like, how? I have just as much knowledge or more knowledge than him, and them, and them, and him. So why do you want me to see the man right here when I'm looking at all of these guys and I have a higher intellectual capacity than them? I think better than them. I preside over business better than them. And whenever a woman can do something, say something better and greater than you, then it's quite logical. It's understandable why, she sees herself up here and she can pat you on your little head. That's just my nigga. That's just him. He hollering and screaming. I know, but he don't mean nothing. He don't mean nothing. He be just hollering. He don't mean nothing he talking about. And I've been in many churches where the pastor used to holler and scream and cry loud and spare not and come against sin and tear it down. And, the wife would just be sitting there like, If only they knew. If only they knew that he ain't about shit that he talking about behind this pulpit. You know what I mean? If only they knew that the things that he preaching about, the things that he preaching against, he gonna do tonight. He gonna talk and tell you not to eat your woman's pussy, but he gonna go home, you understand me, and eat this ass like the groceries and the buffet. He gonna tell you to not commit fornication, but he committing adultery with Sister Smith with the big booty in the 4th pew. Oh my God, this nigga boy, he deserves an Oscar award for this role that he playing right now. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all laughing and shaking your head, but the things that I'm saying is true because you done been in different congregations and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And, not just in the church world, but in the street world. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, man, I'm a real nigga. Ain't no nigga realer than me. But your woman don't agree with that. Why? Because she with you every day. She see your frailty. She see your insecurity. She see your iniquity. She see the capacities that you keep lacking in. She feel like she your teacher. She feel like she your mama. And if a woman feel like she your mama, how the hell she gonna see you as her man? You got to give her a reason, man. You got to give her a reason. You got to give her a reason to respect you. You got to give her a reason to be loyal to you. You got to give her a reason to love you. You got to give her a reason to respect, the man that you profess to be. Because if you're not doing the things that's vital to your title, you just another nigga talking. So, like I said, I ain't gonna talk you guys' heads off, man. I didn't even mean to talk this long, but I hope you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Make sure that you friend request me. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram. If I haven't responded back to inbox messages and things like that, it's because, man, I've been busy. You know what I mean? Don't charge it to my mind or my heart, man. Just realize that because of my itinerary, man, I'll be busy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, give her a reason, man. Give her a reason to like you. Give her a reason to choose you. Give her a reason, you understand me, to respect you, to uphold you, to basically sit up there and look at you in awe and say, man, God was good to me when he gave me him. Give her a reason. Not just words, but give her a reason. You know what I mean? And going back to what I said, a lot of you guys, man, work on your appearance, man. I ain't saying necessarily wear no suit, whatever basically be compatible with you, man. You know what I mean? You got to work on your approach, man. You know, everything got to be presentable before it's acceptable, man. So we got to work on our presentations, our conversations, and we got to read every day, improving our information. So when we have a conversation with anyone about anything, we can just speak and it'll just flow. You ain't got to write no message. You become the embodiment of messages once you begin to read and do things that most people don't think. I mean, do what most people don't do, and that's think. All right? But I ain't going to talk your head off, man. You know what I mean? Be blessed. And hopefully, man, I'll be able to post some more videos up today. One.
Um, she's holding a lot of shit inside of her, a lot of shit that she done did, and she might have got drunk and did some shit that she ashamed of, and just all kind of shit, right? Right. So when she realizes that I've already shown her some things, right, to help support her in her own recovery, right? I'm going to show you how to have a recall of all the shit that's out there. See, because there's a whole bunch of shit out there, and that's why you don't feel whole. Now I'm talking like I'm gonna talk to this woman, okay? And you guys just follow me. So the reason why you don't feel whole is because there's so much that's out there, right? You got a lot of shit out there, and you didn't even realize that it's out there. So you don't feel whole. So I want you to understand this before I ask you the next question or explain to you. The fact that I can show you that, identify that to you, lets you know that I can support and help you in that recall. The fact that I even showed you why you don't feel whole, explained it to you where you can understand, should give you the confidence that if I'm sharp enough to see that, I'm also sharp enough to support you in that recall. Now, what is that recall? That's recalling all the shit that you put out there that you didn't think was worth anything. All that you done put out there, right? I'm going to teach you how to recall all of you back, because that's why you so open, so exposed, right? That's why you move the way you move, because of that. But I'm gonna help you pull that shit back. We're gonna do that together, right? Right. Okay, now look it. I wanna say this to you. I've been in the lifestyle, right? And I've had many women in the game, right? And people used to say, man, you don't love no hoe. And I'd be like, well, man, I'm insulted by that. My mama was a hoe. I'm insulted that you think because somebody has chosen an alternative lifestyle, it could be a stripper, it could be a hoe, it could be a firewoman, it could be anything, right? That you think somebody doesn't have the capacity to care for somebody, right? So I'm offended by that because my mama was a hoe and I love my mama, right? So when I had a woman that was with me in the lifestyle, I expressed to her that I got love for hoes like I got love for my mama. You feel what I'm saying? And she feeling that, right? And I said, those women chose to be out there and they sleep with guys. No, I said I didn't give a shit about that because we was on a whole fucking another level, right? We was have-nots coming together, trying to have something together, trying to build something together. And that's what we did. And we elevated ourselves above what average motherfuckers get stuck on. They stuck on sex. And we found a love that was greater than sex. You know how I learned that? And I'm talking to her. And she's listening. How'd you learn it? I learned it like this. Because there are people that have an affinity and love for God, but they ain't never seen him. I love God and they ain't never seen him one time. Not one time. I said, there go people in the Middle East that blow themselves up over their religion, over their love of God. There are people that have done a whole bunch of things that are more extreme than anything, but they've never seen God one time, never had a hug from him, never had a hug from God, a kiss from God, but they go to the extreme. I said, that's why I know there's a love greater than a physical love. That's why I could love that hoe that was with me, because we was tapping into something greater than the physical love that's limited to them niggas out there that's stuck on sex. I'm not stuck on sex. And I don't want you to be stuck on sex. Do you want to be stuck on sex? No. Okay, so what we about to do, we about to have a recall, right? And I want you to go through whatever. I know that the shit that you think motherfuckers would have judged you for, and them square niggas probably would have judged you for. And I'm not asking you to do any of this for me. I'm asking to do it for you because you're in the presence of a man right now. And a man don't give a fuck about whoever you was fucking with. Because when you started with me, you started over brand new. Because can't a nigga in the fucking world fuck with me. And I'm talking to her like that, and she feeling my spirit. And she ready to say whatever. And I want you to clean all them niggas up from out of your life. That's how we get rid of them niggas. And we're gonna turn them niggas and them niggas into ashes by the time we get finished with it. Don't you feel ashamed about any fucking thing you did? Because I'm not one of them square ass niggas that you up around. Do you understand that shit there? She said she choosing.
Choosing
Again.
And that's what we out here doing, trying to wake dudes up to their value.
How you got to lower the
you got to take the pussy off the pedestal, right? These dudes put the pussy up here, so when they come into the room, when the pussy is up here, guess what? She's looking down on you. If you take a woman out to eat, right? If you take her to a concert, if you take her on a vacation, what does she give you in return for that? Pussy. She gives you pussy. Why? Because you've elevated to mean so much. The only way you will start having reciprocal behavior from a woman is when you lower the pussy of the value of the pussy. You got to take the pussy off the pedestal, put it in its proper perspective. Now the woman has to come with something else. If you do something nice for her now, oh, pussy ain't nothing to me. Well, now what she have to come with? Something of equal value. And that's all I'm saying is stop overvaluing the pussy. Stop overvaluing these looks. When you bring her down to your level, now you see it high value, and now that conversation is different.
Boom. Boom. That's game right there. That's game one-on-one right there, man. Y'all out here doing God's work.
Hey, I say it all the time. We doing God's work for real. Hey, listen, we saving people because if you don't recognize your value, you're going to let everybody around you devalue you. And a lot of these dudes out here is living quiet lives of desperation, and I can't stand it. I'm looking at this dude. He goes to work all day. He takes care of his family. He takes care of his wife, and his wife is giving him hell, not realizing, hey, you have 3 kids. There's not too many men out here that are going to want to come and take care of you. But guess what? Even though I got 3 kids, it's plenty of women who would want me to come take care of them. So I'm more valuable. Talk to me like it. But you ain't going to talk to me like it if I don't demand it, and I'm not going to demand it unless I recognize my own value. So that's all we doing is we want men to recognize their value. And I'm not saying have false value. Work on yourself. Be in the gym. Have some discipline. Don't lie. But don't devalue yourself and let your women know, no, I have value, you know?
And that's one thing that the pimp has done successfully. You know, he tell a woman, he say, I got to meet on my Peter. The longer you stay, the longer you got to pay his purse first and ass last, right? He said, if you think I'm handsome, pay my ransom. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the pimp say, but the way Goldie's saying it is the way all men should look at it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm naturally, what he's saying, that's naturally me. I'm naturally putting the pussy on a low pedestal. But what I'm saying, if all men done that and they follow, you know, what Goldie is saying, and they follow those principles, that's the favorite thing. I always make them remember to say that, because I think that's the real problem with it.
Yeah.
If you leading with your little head and not your big head, guess what? You know what I'm saying? You're going to let your little head outbeat your big head.
Uh-huh.
And that's,
go
ahead, bro.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, that's why there's so many wars. You know, I mean, if you look at any situation, relationship that you had with friends, there was 3 reasons why y'all broke up. One was money, the other was power, and the other was pussy. You know what I'm saying? And you can't deny that. Those are the 3 problems that men have with life. You know, they can't, you know, some of them, you know, they get a little record, they get a hit record, now they don't want to answer your phone calls, you know, now they think they're on your level. You know, they get a little money, you know what I'm saying? You know, they think, you know what I'm saying, they rule the world now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say what brother, but it happened to one brother up here, and me and Pimp C was talking about it. The brother, you know, he had got a little money, and he bought some slick cars, and, you know, everything went down. You know what I'm saying? Here in this city. You know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to say the name. You know what I'm saying? And then the next thing, you know, you look at Floyd Mayweather. You know, a lot of times he had problems. It'd be like dudes talking about they had sex with, like him and Ray J. What is their problem about? A woman. You know, Ray J ended up marrying a woman that Floyd Mayweather had. The pussy is always in the equation. So when you lower the pussy, if Ray J get the woman, it's no problem because it ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Me and this woman cannot commute, or we cannot communicate eye to eye anymore. So that's what he's saying.
Listen, if you let her treat you like you Clark Kent, you gonna forget you Superman. And a lot of these dudes have let her treat him less than he deserves. He forgets he's Superman, all the things he doing. If you let her treat you like you Peter Parker, you gonna forget that you Spider-Man. When I was younger and I was in the clubs, my uncle my uncle, listen, I've been running off this paradigm, and this is a paradigm I like to give other men. When I was younger, 16, 17, I would go to the club. My uncle would get me in the club. I would see this fine, young, red bone, everything, light bright, everything right. I'm trying to get at her all night. She playing with me. My uncle put his hand on my shoulder. He said, stop looking at that fine little bitch that you want and start looking at that funny little bitch in the corner that's looking at you. Because that broad that you want, she going to give you a problem. She's already giving you one. But that broad in the corner, she going to do everything you want. And that changed my paradigm to stop chasing who I want and start looking at the one that's looking at me. And these dudes are in poor relationships because they chose wrong. You cannot fix it because you got a woman who didn't really like you. How you start is how you finish. You started chasing this woman, and if you chasing, what does that mean? How are you going to chase the woman, which means you following her, then get with her, and then tell her, all right, now I'm the leader, follow me? You started wrong. You can't do it. You have to get the woman who's looking at you, who's going to do everything for you, who loves you dirty draws. It's a form of self-hate these dudes have to chase a woman that's denying them and then denying the woman that wants them. You have to start looking at the woman that likes you. If she likes you a lot, if she looks at you like you Chris Brown, she's going to do everything you want, and you have that respect. These women talk to these men in such a disrespectful way because they don't like them. A woman who likes you don't talk to you like that. She don't disrespect you like that. She don't like you, so go get a woman who does.
So you have these group of girls. Okay, up to 7 at one point.
Yeah.
And from the outside, it looks glamorous. But, you know, for example, I just interviewed Sugar Free, who was a pimp for a long time. And he kind of broke down the difficulty of trying to manage so many personalities.
You got to understand something. You know, here it is. You got multiple women. Okay, these bitches got different birthdays. They both favorite food is different. They like different shit on the radio. Some of them got kids and shit. Some of them got kids that live far, far out. Some of them got kids that's across state. It might be their birthday or the mother's birthday. And here you are. You know, that's why they say, you know, a real pimp don't get no sleep because, you know, them bitches constantly need shit. You know what I mean? And you got to be willing to, okay, bitch, come on.
So the stress involved in keeping track of all that is extreme. Would you tend to agree?
Well, I think it's extreme to one that is not capable. You know, like I said, a lot of people take on a challenge that's really not their challenge. You know what I mean? It's got to be in you and not on you. A lot of guys got it on them, but it ain't in them. And they'll take the risks and try for the paper, for the glamour, for the glory. But it don't mean it's really their job. Like I know some real serious professional pimps that have played it for years, but they working job, they doing this, they doing that. I said to myself, God, please don't curse me like that. You know what I mean? Because I don't think as a pimp or player, that gang is always in you. But see, some of them guys get to where they can't play it no more because it really ain't in them. I understand what Sugar Free was saying, but it's all about the control. You make that stuff where it's convenient for all parties. Definitely you got girls that got babies. Some of the girls that you have, might have 2, 3 chicks. 2, 3 babies. Mama don't want it. I've been through all that where mama then reached and hit me with a baseball bat. Get out of here. No, I want my prostitute. I'm not leaving. That prostitute knowing her mind that she got to come. You know, so like I said, guys take on the challenge. Like Too Short told me before, he had a guy with him, they used to call him some kind of pretty boy or something, and he used to play the pimp part. Too Short told me the man actually went mentally on that because girls was really coming to him to try to get him to pimp them. And that really wasn't his makeup, but it was just something he was doing as part of the Too Short act. So I'm saying things happen to guys like that, but if it's in you, you can deal with it. I'm not mental. I was able to deal with it. I have women that had babies. I mean, from different parts, from different nationalities, from different races. I mean, you deal with that. See, a lot of guys have done with these different videos, like Too Real for TV and things like that, where they done heard different pimps say a lot of things. Everything that they said out their mouth wasn't necessarily true, but a lot of guys that listen, they learn everything they say and they try to run it to a female, and it works all the way till they get to the part where it ain't no more to say and they don't know what to say, so now it's over. So what they really was doing was meddling in something that they shouldn't have been involved in, because they make it bad for the guy that really seriously pimping. Somebody that is their livelihood. It's like some of the dope dealers. They had girls, but it wasn't their livelihood. They was meddling. They was using the drug to captivate the female so that she would go on the street to sell her body for them so they could impress a real pimp saying, I got a prostitute, but they wouldn't making her do what they wanted her to do. She can go out and maybe come back with $50. A real pimp ain't living like that. He's not going for that. But it wasn't their livelihood. When it's your livelihood, you have to really stick to that, because you seriously paying bills. Car notes and all kind of things, jewelry. You sending kids through school off of that pimp money. I've done that.